Hello, hello. Do I sound normal? Hey, Sinistella. I should. And by that I mean microphone. Does the microphone sound normal? Or is it coming through a different mic? Because, yeah, happy Wednesday afternoon. Adam is going to work on some features intended to delight players rather than. Yeah, I guess he's been working hard on all the necessary stuff that he wants to take a little bit of a break back into fun territory. Sounds good. Okay, cool. Yeah, how's it going, Sinistella? So we have 4 different things we can do. Oh, by the way, the reason that the camera's working now, for those of you who are eventually watching this after watching the morning stream, I moved around some USB plugs on my actual computer. The speakers are plugged into my hub again, and they might be working. I guess we could launch Skeleteller to test it. Hey, Dark. Hey, Sunset. You mean equipment? No, let's wait till there's 10 minutes left to launch, and then we add equipment. Yeah, nice. I can hear this again. Yay. What does this button do? Nothing. Okay. Actually, let me turn that off. And then we got to pick which feature we want to do. We might be able to get 2 done. I wouldn't count on it. None of them are necessary. So we have these 4 options. Option number 1 is the goblin that walks around town and hides behind trees, and you click it and it drops some items. Option 2 is the snake pet that after you beat the final boss, it just walks around town and collects apples. Option 3 is the bird that walks around town and then gets cooked by the chef slime. And option 4 are item bags that you find somewhere around the world, and you click them and they open up with items. Really good tracking too. Yeah, this is the VTuber Premium Edition. It was extra money, but I think it's worth it. Hey, Jeff Alton, and hi, Kevin. I've been a sneaky little lurker, but I like to imagine your real life hands on the top of Pixel Adam during morning stream. So yeah, what do people vote for? Actually, let me just do a real Twitch poll. /poll. Which do you want to see first? Goblin. I'm not going to repeat these, so just vote for whatever sounds coolest, I guess, to you. Item bags, and what was the last one? Oh, snake pet. All right, start. Hey, I'll go, Dev. Snake with hat. Oh, we don't have the hat, just to be clear. It's just snake. Snake with no hat. Although maybe you could get a top hat for him or something. What would I vote for here? From the player's perspective, I think item bags and the goblin would probably be the most impactful. I think these would be nice little delightful things to see too. Can I drop an antidote on a snake? That'd be kind of interesting. I like that idea. Maybe we could have Quickie draw the snake with a hat, and when you put an antidote on the snake, it gives you a hat on the snake. Kevin can finally have his wish after all. Maybe this gives the snake a little top hat. Stacking hats. Maybe you can keep doing it. And getting more hats. Actually, that's really, I'm not going to do that. That's a little bit too tough. Okay, so goblin is what people voted for. Then bird and snake. Okay, so I'll put bird here. Not that, I know they both got 2 votes. I know it's not supposed to be in that order specifically, but I think the bird would be more interesting than the snake. So cool, thanks for voting. I was thinking about this over lunch, and I think the goblin should just spawn behind a tree. Yeah. And it should be a new kind of entity that I guess heretofore has not existed. It's not entirely true. It can be a new kind of walking entity. Let's close out all these things. Walking entity. So this is a shadow, a sprite, and a collision shape. The goblin would need to be able to walk behind trees, which we could maybe accomplish without any extra work. But we need to figure out what resting places they should have. So like, yeah, behind this tree is a pretty good one. In fact, let's just zoom out and let's take a picture of this and let's figure out the best places. So I think right here is pretty good. We could also just move some trees so that they overlap more. This one's pretty good. This one's probably pretty good. This one would be a little bit tough. Maybe we can make that work. But then we need some more on the left side if we're going to do this. And unfortunately, none of the trees really block the path here. We could maybe do that one. We could maybe do that one. And maybe that one. It all depends on how like far off the trail they can go. Oh, I guess I'll also highlight that one. I wonder if we should move any trees to make this a reality. Reality. Okay, next up, let's go get the position of any one of those and just spawn the goblin there. Let's also figure out if walking entity makes sense. What makes something a walking entity? Does it have sprite sheets set up? Hand sprite. That may not exist though. And then add an animated sprite component, a town component, entity type, and nav speed. Entity type. What do we have for this? None, adventurer, worker, customer, goblin. Because we're not going to save or load this, which means we're going to break everything. Hooray! Yeah, we're going to break everything. All right, we have some entity saver thing. Here it is, entity factory. Load. Somewhere we save them all. Where do we save them? Strange. Where do we save them? Save data. Here it is. Anything with an entity type, we go through, we cast them to a node 2D. Oh, that's kind of interesting. We shouldn't do that anymore. We should just do this and cast it here. And then this can just be a node. That saves an extra allocation, which actually does matter because autosave triggers every 5 minutes. But that's actually not what we want to do. We want to make sure to skip over an entity that has an entity that is a goblin. Or we save them, but we just don't load them. But I think we just shouldn't even save them. Entity type component etc. If etc.entity type is equal to goblin, do not save them. All right, anywhere else we use this? .cs. What is going on right now there? So what is this about? Get entities of type. Where do we use this? And why do we use this? What? This seems so stupid. Why? Now, this probably made sense in the old world, but in the new world where we just keep track of workers, yeah, we probably shouldn't do this. Like, this is kind of especially bad. So I'll write a note to myself of like things I found. Cleanup shouldn't exist. Town should keep track of workers like it does for adventurers or, well, just adventurers, I guess. Okay, what else? What else? Just gotta get the lay of the land here. So we should never try loading a goblin. Yeah. This stuff all looks fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's okay. All right, I gotta look at this again, and then worker wander, entity speed controller. What is this? Update customers, update workers, update speed of entities. What? Where do we call that? Oh, from these other ones? Yeah, it's fine. I don't care about that. Okay, so the last thing to look at is this class. Anything else here? No, I don't think so. So we're gonna make a goblin. How do we do this? I guess let's look at customer. Customer is pretty much the exact same thing except it has an item drop zone and an outline holder. We don't need an outline holder for this. So let's make a new scene and instantiate it based on walking entity. I don't know where that is. So let's go find that first. Show in file system. You are under town. Scenes town. Okay. Scenes town walking entity. All right, you are a goblin though. And we're going to make this unique and then add in all your little goblin friends. Oh, wait, no, you have a bunch of different. Oh, maybe I should not make this unique. Don't we have a way of doing this? We have, I think so. Okay, let's Command Z that. And then just save this as goblin. NPCs. Goblin. Okay, so we have a goblin now. Hey, Katie, yeah, I showered 2-3 times, made sure, polished up the VTuber model. Came back to work. Good afternoon, or for you, good evening. Hope everything's been going well. I think today's been a good day so far. All right, so we got to go set up a goblin sprite somewhere. I'm just going to create one when we press page up, I guess. Yeah. We have unhandled input here already. So page up, we're going to do create goblin. I'm just going to put this here for now. Public void create goblin. Whoop. To do, move this elsewhere. I just want to test this out. Okay, so when we make a customer, we have an instantiate scene. We're going to eventually need a script for this. I don't have that right now. We don't have a create in here? Really? How do we make a customer then? No, okay, sure. That's enough for the month. Did you leave and come back? Yeah, that's my usual schedule, Strawn. I tend to do morning, take like a 1-hour lunch break, and then stream again in the afternoon. And that way you don't have a lot of dead time on the air. I used to take very, very short lunch breaks back in the Botland days. So I just leave the stream running for like 20 minutes and then come back. I don't know why my schedule was like that. I don't know if there was as much of a reason for it to be, or I just thought there was. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so this is going to be a walking entity, I suppose, for now, goblin. And then we add this, well, probably not to the customers node, but probably somewhere that there's something like a customers node. Although, is there really a problem if we add them to that? There probably is, because we probably fetch everything from here at some point. We don't. How do we return customers then? Oh, we just keep track of it. Well. Cinnamon grams. Cinnamon grams. Oh, why is this so funny to me? Okay, I was going to say, maybe it's the same cereal as this. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is at least what it's called in the US. I'm not sure if that's what you're talking about. UK Cinnamon Graham cereal. Cinnamon Graham. That's it. Wait, this one. Oh, man. That looks very dark. It's probably tasty, though. I like cinnamon. I don't eat anything, but I take it. Oh, wow. Yeah. Hey, I'm serious. How many hours do you do per day? I'm always exhausted after like 3 or 4 hours. I try to aim for about 6, at least. As of late, it's been more than that because I'm prepping for launch. But I typically would not be pushing myself like this if there weren't a deadline. And I think we can kind of calm down a little bit now. So I might actually just take the weekend off. Well, that sounds kind of stupid to me. I feel like I should be doing everything I can to maximize success. But yeah, we'll see. All right, so we have customer here. I want the goblin. So scenes, this is not how we do this. What am I? Wait, no, we will need a scene for this. What am I talking about? Yeah. But it's in NPCs. Who approved that? The boss Adam did. Return Godot arrays. I think we wouldn't have to do any casts. I think so. I think we should be caching most of the places we do something like this. Get nodes with component calls, get nodes in group. Yeah, this should be a Godot array. If it's calling into Godot at all, yeah, it is. Technically, that's already IEnumerable, so that's why we just return it as is. But yeah, there's a lot of performance stuff we can still impact. And maybe if there's extra time at the end, I can start looking at some of that stuff. They should make a cereal called Good-O's. Good-O's. Except for Mysterious doesn't pronounce it that way. I forgot what she said. She says it as. And either way, I just read it typed out, so I don't recall. You couldn't eat that cereal. Good dough. All right. So we add this to the customers node. Maybe that's not a great idea. And we'll eventually need to initialize it. And its position is going to be 0, 0. So if we just do this, we'll get a purple-haired character in the like vertical path of town when we press page up. Hard G. Go dot. Wait, it's always a hard G though, right? Oh, if you know it. Oh, I don't know what it sounds like. Okay, yeah. All right, I press page up. Yep, sure enough, there's our character. So now we want them to look like a goblin and have the right animations. We have something for this. Walk sprite sheet converter. This should do it. Get character atlas texture, set animation speed. Doesn't something do all of this stuff for me at once? Apparently not. Or maybe this does set up animation frames. This might do everything. Yeah, I think this does everything. Okay, so a sprite, a texture path, and a character index. That's dead simple. Walk sprite sheet converter, set up animation frames. We take in the goblin, but really just their sprite, which is .get node sprite. .get node animated sprite 2D sprite. All right, so we get their sprite, we get their texture path. Figure this out. And then we get their character index. The character index is 0, 4, 8, 9, 10. All right, now for the figure this out part, we should have adventurers.png somewhere. Should be somewhere from code, right? How is no code calling this? Oh, because of this. All right, figure this out is now done. Okay, so now it should look like a goblin, I hope. Hey, Goose, change your glasses again, eh? Yep, I got the 6x6 pixel version now. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, man, and they're short, too. This is perfect. I wonder if I subconsciously thought about that. So, yeah, if you take a look, most characters go up to the full, like, 20 pixels, or at least one or two frames will. But the goblin doesn't. And my whole gimmick with them was they just hide behind trees. It's kind of funny when you think about it, because if this were a 3D game, you couldn't hide behind a tree by always standing on, like, the north side of the tree. You'd sometimes have to stand on, you know, this side of the tree, because they're always in the way of the path. But whatever. No one's going to question this. Hey, Becca. Okay, so now we have this. Now we want them to walk around and stuff. There's a lot we got to do. We should probably make a new script. Yeah, now is probably the time. All right, so let's take customer, save this over here somewhere. This is in source. Do we have NPCs? NPCs, yes we do. Okay, let's name this Goblin. Nobody will know. Yeah, no one can know. So they're goblins, they're not drop zones or anything. All right, what do I want here? Sprites I don't care about. State machine. We will need a state machine. Let's just comment that out for now, though. We don't need this. We don't need this. Don't need that. Prevent construction of customer instances outside the create customer method. What? Why? What? Why is it there? Nothing should ever call this. What is this doing here? Yeah, we never used this. I don't know why this is here. I wonder if that's anywhere else. Prevent construction. No. Well, I mean, it was in Goblin, but I'm cutting that out. Sprite ID is always the same. Doesn't matter about this. Don't care, don't care, don't care. Doesn't matter. None of this matters. Okay, so walking entity doesn't have a oh, it does have a ready. And we get this sprite. But then customer, all right. So we just do this. No, we need a state machine too. And what's this? Navigation agent? Okay, that too. All right, so cut this out for now. We got to figure that out at some point. This doesn't matter. This stuff doesn't matter. There should be an init somewhere. I'm a little concerned. Okay, I don't know why that was way down there. So speed of the goblin. Should they be slower or faster than customers by default? They're never going to speed up. But their whole point is to play hide and seek with you. So you've got to be able to see them occasionally. They can't be like darting between trees. You'll never spot them. I don't know. Let's see how it feels later. So they're a goblin. There's no such thing as rare. We delete that. Reset desired item isn't a thing. Get tip amount isn't a thing. Its sprite ID shouldn't matter. Setup sprite should matter, but shouldn't be very difficult. Set up walk animation frames and set walk animation speed automatically for entity. Oh, that's pretty cool. Or could they? If you remove private constructor, then default public will be generated and you can new it somewhere. Yeah, but that's true for every single node we make, and we don't do this for every single node. Constructors added in 2024. It's okay. It's yeah, I'll just delete it. All right, so rather than set up sprite, let's do this now. So this is now a goblin. And now this gets out of here and this gets put in. Okay, we don't actually have it in it because we have this is rare here. And we put this here and we delete everything for this. Done. Cool. Oh, there's a problem there. We need a way of getting the sprite, which I think we do from the animation component. Hello? Hello? Animation. There it is. Nice. Yeah, this is just going swimmingly so far. Okay, looks good. And we delete this. So now we have everything but the state machine. And we need the state machine because it's not going to move anywhere. But maybe we could just give it a place to move to. Because doesn't Customer Wander have some like really easy to use code? Like find wander target. Maybe it's this. It is very easy. Look at that. All right, so we just put you in here. And we want you to go... This is this, I guess. Oops. Yeah, there. That's it. That's good enough. Let's try it. Feeling healthier already. Hey, Flair. I'm glad to hear it. I hope you're resting. All right, so here's what's going to happen. We're going to add a goblin. It's going to correctly walk somewhere random. No, everything broke. Unable to cast a walking entity to a goblin. Oh, I forgot to change the script? Yes. Okay, script fixed. And look at that. It's amazing. Where are you going, goblin? Where are you going? Where are you going? Oh my God, they stopped pretty much exactly where I want them to eventually be able to stop. Like that's the first place I marked on the map. Down there. That's coincidental. Interestingly, they're absorbing clicks somehow. I can't drag from here. Oh wait, no, maybe it's because I'm zoomed in. Oh, it's because I'm zoomed in. Yeah, they're not absorbing clicks. I'm so curious what you're doing. Okay, so we're close enough to launch that I've been sending out release keys to people. And I've been sending them to a lot of the influencers who already covered the game. And they've already played through pretty much the first like hour and a half, 2 hours of the game sometimes. So I wanted some small little features that would give them something new to discover. And what's going to happen here is this goblin is going to walk around town occasionally and just pause somewhere just peeking out of the trees. So like you see how you can see 1 pixel moving there? That's way too hidden. You'd never spot this. But if we move them by like 4 pixels to the side, 4 pixels up, now you'd see their head popping out a little bit. When you click them, they'll drop some items on the ground or something. So that's it. And then they'll just like walk away or I don't know, fade out or I got to figure that out. And if you never see them or you never click them, so what? It's just a nice little fun thing to discover. So we're going to need a state machine for the goblin. So state machine should be probably like goblin wander. It's going to be like customer wander, right? It's like apples. Yeah, fun little thing. Yeah, so we're going to add, I've got 4 fun things planned, and then that's it. No more fun. I don't think we'll get them all done this afternoon. But yeah, I like this idea. All right, so I have idle checks and buy checks. The goblin is just going to make it to its destination and then idle there. And then go to another destination and idle there. So I guess let's plan their flow in English. So states in plain English. Spawn is going to be the goblin appears behind a tree. They immediately start walking. So I guess walk. The goblin walks to another tree. And then disappear. The goblin disappears behind a tree. Actually, how's it going to be clear? Hey, Codex. Have them slow walk while hiding, then sprint away after getting detected? Yeah. When you click them, I want them to sprint. So, like, clicked. The goblin sprints somewhere. But I have some questions based on what we've said. So, when you click them, I want them to not be clickable for another minute or two. Or at least another minute or two. Where are they during that time? Like option 1 is they fade out. This would probably be weird. Option 2 is they hide behind a tree. You may know they're there, but clicking them does nothing. Option 3, oh, by the way, we got to set up sounds for the goblin. Option 3 would be they run over the bridge. They run out of town. I kind of like this. And I think it'd be extra kind of cute because it'd be like, oh, you clicked me. And then they run away. So like they snuck into your town is kind of the impression, but actually they just appear there behind it. I think I'm going to this. I like this idea. And then you get to see them run. Yeah, reinitialize. Yeah, I like that idea. Can they steal your items? No. This is supposed to be like just a fun bonus, not any sort of like you gotta stop them from stealing items. So well, I guess what does that mean? You're actually the jerk here, right? Because you're stealing their items. But we're not answering that question. Sure, you're a jerk. Okay, so that's when you click them. I like this. So that's figured out. But then there's another question. What happens when you don't click them within a certain amount of time? They could just disappear. Option 2 is they could just keep moving between trees until you do click them. Hey, Kiwi, did I make the assets? No, I did not. The credits are there. I am not an artist. And welcome to the stream. Add tiny smoke puffs as they run. I like that idea. Either one of these is fine. I guess we can just do whatever feels better. Because I'm thinking they shouldn't even spawn until like maybe after you've beaten the dragon or something. And then, yeah, I don't know how frequently they should spawn. But yeah, if you don't click them at all, I think it's just keep running between the trees. Let's just keep doing that. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. So spawn, the goblin appears behind a tree. They immediately start walking. They walk to another tree. Then wait. The goblin waits such that it's barely visible from behind the tree. Well, like barely visible, you know, kind of visible. Clicked, the goblin sprints out of town. And then out of town, the goblin disappears. Yeah, that's it. Those are their states, right? Spawn, walk, wait, clicked, and out of town. Maybe like leaving. Leave. And then disappear once they're outside of town. Okay. I think it's pretty good. Yeah. Okay, let's go write their state machine then. So we need this goblin. All right, so your state machines are, or your states are these 5. Spawn, walk, wait, leave, disappear. Spawn, walk, wait, leave, disappear. Now we don't have any of those states. And you start with the spawn animation or the spawn state? Yeah, probably. And then I should say they're only clickable in walk and wait. All right, yeah. Hey, Sound of Gaming. Okie dokie. So let's go make some states. Customer wander. We have a whole state machine thing over here. Yeah, we'll just make a new folder. Goblin states. All right, so this one's probably called walk. And that means that this should now exist. Good. So we got one of these working. Yay. Lovely code token, yeah. Start my master's in data science on the 9th. Any tips for a graduate student? I never did a graduate degree, so I can't speak from experience, but toward the end of my undergrad degree, I think generally the way I felt was I was kind of done with school. I felt done. And I think if you were going on, you should make sure you want to be in school. You probably already know that you want to be, but like you're choosing to do this for either a year or 2 years or something like that. So learning should probably be the goal. So if you're in that state of mind, then great. If you're not in that state of mind, I'd say it's either like change your state of mind or change your state. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing because I think the rest will probably follow. It's like you've got the resources, you've already been through school enough to have gotten to a master's degree. So it's pretty much just don't take it for granted and don't treat it like, oh, I'm just on the track that is schooling. Like you chose this track. Depends on the school as well. That leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Yeah, and also I just think the way I look at least for computer science, data science, anything kind of related to this, I look at it as like schooling is just one route to learn everything. There's no, at least in the US, there's no like certification you need. If you learned how to program on your own and you never went to school, then you can get a job just like anyone else can. That's not true for everything. I think if you are in medicine, for example, I don't think you'll find a job as a doctor unless you like went through proper schooling. But yeah, for computers, it doesn't really matter. So it's just like, as a framework for learning, is it the best framework for you? And some of that has to do with, is the school good? Are the students good? Are the teachers good? But yeah, some of it just has to do with like, what's your personality? Do you like learning alongside other people? Do you like working with them? Do you want to learn from other people teaching you? All right, so the walk state is to pretty much just find a place where they can go. So kind of none of this stuff exists. In fact, we don't really need anything here, do we? How do we handle clicking somebody? Doesn't the state have like a click handler in it? It does. And we use that here, except for it's called onClick for some reason. That's Strange. It comes from NPC. Why isn't it in the game state? Oh, because you can always click the Guildmaster. Okay, let's override clicked then. So we do goblin or like town component dot get town entity dot. Can we create an item somewhere? How do we do this? Add item. We have debug add items. Okay, you know, I'm just gonna do a test thing. Public void testeroni. And I guess pass in the goblin here. And I want to create an item at this character. Add item loot vector 2. Start position. Okay, so I want this one. Yeah. All right, so the position is going to be goblin.global position. The loot is going to be loot equals new. Loot.add item. We're just going to add a small blue potion. And let's have it be 2 of them. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Because this is just for testing. So this is whenever you click them when they're in the buy state. So we're going to call the testeroni function. Loot goblin. Yeah. That's another reason I wanted to do this. It's going to be really hard getting a job without a degree, and if you learn it yourself. What? I haven't found this to be true in my experience. I mean, I have a degree, so I can't say my personal experience, but in the people that I've worked with or around, I've worked with people at my jobs who did not have a degree, who had an English degree, who had electrical engineering, who, whatever, they were in computers, but then they stopped for a long time. And pretty much, well, I can't say you name it, but you name pretty much anything that's common enough, and yeah, I don't think it matters. Not that hard 8 to 10 years ago. Right now, people with a degree can't even get it. I don't think that's a degree or not degree thing, though. I think that's AI kind of polluting the application process. But yeah, it doesn't. I don't think it matters too much. It's like for the people who are getting a degree right now, they're not going to be like, "Oh man, I don't need a degree," and then like drop out of college. And the people who aren't getting one are going to be like, "Oh man, I got to go start this." And even then, you'd want to base it on stats and not just what people in Twitch chat or me think. All right, so we can delete all of that and this. So here is one state kind of done. I mean, we need to go make all the other states too. So let's start with spawn. Spawn is just going to be that you enter it and it sets the entity's global position. So let's set it to new vector 2. I don't know. We just got to pick some place that's visible for now. Oh, wait, we can do it through this, can't we? Yeah, so how about we put them like right over there? Where is that? That's like 325, 250. 325, 250. There we go. Hey, Leap Your Girl. Okay, and then I also want a click handler here. No, I don't. What am I talking about? I don't want that. Okay, then the wait state. Wait does need something on enter to do, figure out how long to wait for, and then make them clickable in that state. That's pretty important. And in base wander, we need, once you've reached the location for something to happen, customer wander. Does base wander figure that out? Do we just listen for that? What happens here? What? Oh, because they just wander around forever? Okay, this is not quite what I wanted then, huh? I guess I want something more like when the skeleton has their intro thing. Beginning state. Is he here? Add wander to location. And then we listen for it and do something, yeah. Okay, so we want this code. So actually their walk state probably doesn't need to inherit from base wander. And we need for there to be an enter here. Entered? I don't remember what this is called. Why don't I remember it? Yeah, it must be enter if the other one's leave. Oh, it just doesn't have a body. That's why it's red. Yeah, of course. I even copied that. Okay, nav speed. Yeah, we should figure out the nav speed stuff later. I'm not going to do that now. So if it's in walk, we got to not have a destination already. So this is where I'm just going to always have them walk to the same location. Let's just make it vector 2 dot. Actually, you know what? Let's make it near the tree. Yeah, let's make them walk right about there. So that is, let's say negative 200 and that's 75. That's like 63. Negative 258. And then the y coordinate will be like 390. I don't know. I'm just making up numbers. Yeah, that's probably good enough. Okay, then when they reach there, we want them to switch into the wait state. So transition to name of wait. Okay. And in saying you can simplify this, I assume to do this. Yeah. All right, so that looks good. So now we have, what, 3 states? They spawn, they walk, they wait. They then need to leave and then disappear. So let's make leave. And leave is going to make them go out of the town and at a super fast pace. So I guess we do this. And this is going to be whatever out of town is. I don't know. Leave town. Leave town. How do we figure out what the point is that they're supposed to go to? Customer spawn position right there. All right, nice. Then we want to change your town equals town component dot get town entity. Okay, then we want to change your nav speed, which I think we do in the skeleton thing. Base speed, nav speed. We don't actually change their animation based on their speed though. I would like for them to do that. So nav speed times equal 4. So whatever speed they're running at, they're going to run at 4x the speed. And then we need to set their frame rate based on that. Does that work? Get entity speed. Yeah, it must work. Okay, pretty cool. All right, and then finally they have the disappear state. How does that work for customers? We hide the customer. Why 4, not 2 or 8? I'm just guessing numbers for right now. And if it looks like stupidly fast, we'll just lower it a bit. And if it looks too slow, we'll raise it a bit. But we need some starting point. 4 times is probably too fast. Yeah, it's probably too fast. They'll be darting outside of town. Oh, and then we only wanted to do this in story mode? Or is it okay to do this in bone mode? Only do this after beating a certain boss. Do we need string names for the states? No, those transitions all take place on our side, so I don't think they need to be string names. But I might have something written down here for this. Yeah, we have a to Godot right here. So I think we're fine. So disappear. What are we actually... What are we doing? We're signaling that the goblin is gone and you could spawn another one at some point. Actually, this thing should just spawn itself, right? Yeah, it should. So let's make disappear. And I should probably write a comment for this. Write a comment for what this state represents. Don't do it, Katie. Don't do it. Avoid the grams. Don't give in to the temptation. So in this state, we're just going to wait for a while. Wait for a while, then go back to spawn. And you can't be clicked in this state. Okay, so we got something figured out. Let's go test this. I highly doubt this is going to work. Just because I made a lot of code right now. So let's go see. So if I did this correctly, there should be a goblin that spawns like right here, and it'll walk over to this tree and then stay there forever. So far, so good. Yeah, we can speed this up a bit. Oh, then they started walking again. What are they doing? Why would you do that, goblin? Oh, what do you think you are? Transition into wait. Wait doesn't have them do anything. Oh, this is base wander. Whoops. Okay, well, that wasn't supposed to be the case. Let's leave town inherit from. Just game state? Yeah. Okay, all of these things we're supposed to inherit from game state. It's back to bed. Yeah. Not good. Actually, we could just search for base wander goblin. Yeah. Okay, let's try that. Airtight Android. Yeah, it's on track. How are you doing? What's happening later with new state name and transition method? Yeah, this is in the same category of like, I should look at performance things later because I think there are still a lot of easy wins. I don't want to get super sidetracked right now. All right, so now they should make it to the tree and then just stop moving. Yeah, except for they don't actually stand there. So when they're in their wait state, they should stand facing forward, which the skeleton does in their beginning state, right? Set entity is standing true, yeah. Or we could, in order to draw your attention a little bit, no, we draw your attention by them walking. That's good enough. Can they buy armor or potions? Yeah, just can't do that. Can't always get what you want. And in leave, you want to set them to standing false. Wait. Oh, which means we need to change their speed if we're going to do this, right? Where do we set their navigation speed? Here. Where is this even used? Oh, for initializing this. Sure. Is wait the same as idle? Probably pretty similar. Except for in wait, you can be clicked. And actually, we're probably not going to do this stuff. Well, we will eventually do something pretty similar. But yeah, it's going to be close. So once you click them, after they disappear, I guess, actually, or when they're in the leave state, we should save what their old speed was. And was this a floating point number? Yeah, so float starting speed. And we set this here. And then when you leave the state, we set their speed back to what it was. No, I don't have a toggle for that. Nice. Cannot be the same as their enclosing type. Oh man, really? Can we override it like game state.leave? Oh, man. I didn't know that was an issue. Well, I guess we can just rename this to leave town. And then save this as leave town. And then go delete whatever I did with leave. And then rename goblin starting state to... Oh, I already did. Okay, let's try this. This is fun game dev. It's nice to be adding something new. I am kind of glad I'm doing this. I never tried clicking them either. Let's try. They should drop some potions when you do that. They're not dropping potions. That's for sure. And they're just going off to the middle of nowhere. What's going on there? Did they drop it somewhere else? No. What are you doing? All right, let's make another one. I won't click this one. So they go wait over here. That's not working either. Okay, seeing a lot of errors here. Why are you not standing still? You've stopped moving. So you're probably in the wait state. But then we set you to standing here. And yet you no stand. And this also isn't working. Taking a goblin, add items at the goblin's global position. Yeah, I'm using set entity as standing, right? Yeah. It is nice, mysterious, except for I'm not actually getting this to work yet. All right, how about this? Let's I think I made something where you can print out states as you transition. Is that a thing that I did, or am I making this up? Debug. This inherits from state machine. Debug something. Ah, here it is. Debug print adventurer transitions. Okay, so let's set this to true for goblins. Get component entity type component current state dot entity type equals goblin. That'll tell us everything, hopefully. It is very pleasing. Oh, that's gonna fail, isn't it? Oh man. Okay, how about this? So goblin transitioning from current state to new state. There we go. This is, oh, what happened? This is still mostly fun though. Unable to cast a main to an entity IECS entity. Where's that happening? State machine line 76. Here. So this is happening too soon. That doesn't make sense. Huh. Doesn't make sense at all. IECS entity. Every walking entity should have that, right? Yeah, it does. And it's one of those as long as it has a component holder. Oh, did customer override this? And I never made this. No, wait, walking entity should have overridden it. It did. But what sets this? Oh, I see. Component system. Okay, so maybe it needs to be in the scene tree already. So I need to add this in a different part. Yeah. Probably just need to do this in init. Okay, let's try that. I guess we never had this with customers, but probably that's what we have for adventurers. It's still not working. Is it what we have for adventurers in it? No, we had it in ready. Okay, I don't get it. What am I missing? Can't cast main. I don't know why I was trying to cast main there. Oh. I think I kind of cheated this system a little bit because main. Okay, yeah, I understand. Main doesn't even have this. So we need to do get component or null or just not be able to cast this at all. I haven't tested this code in forever. That's what's actually happening. IECS entity. Yeah. So it's more like current state's not equal to null and the current state dot entity is an ECS entity. All right. So now I probably could have used ready again in Goblin, but that doesn't matter. So all this is going to do is tell me what state they're in. It didn't even do that. Maybe it doesn't count as a transition. I don't know. But once they make it to their target, it should count. New state name, consider buying. Okay, that's not the right entity. What about this? Go to shop. Huh. It's not even getting there. What's happening then? It must be transitioning into wait here. I mean, I'm just going to put breakpoints everywhere. Yeah, let's try this again. You're walking in the wrong direction. Yeah, I don't know what is going on there. Let's try again. I can't click them. That does nothing. And they never make it to their destination. So they must not even be in the walk state, maybe? Then what's making them move? We start in the spawn state. Oh, yeah, they never leave their state here. But then how would they walk anywhere? Oh, because of what some code I had in town? No, I don't have that code there anymore. Or in Goblin, maybe? Oh my god, yeah, there it is. Oh, that's so stupid. I forgot I had that. This whole time we were never actually leaving the spawn state. So now they're only ever going to stand there. Yep. All right, that's more like it though. Now we can actually work with this. So they set their global position, and then they probably just transition immediately to the walk state. But this should probably fade them in. Well, we could, instead of just writing it to do, I guess we could just, I'll just fade them in. Cool. And when they leave town, we should stop processing them. Although it shouldn't take a lot to process them. All right, so now they'll spawn there, they'll walk to the tree, and then they'll wait. Well, there was an error. Is it coming from transitioned? Yep. Okay, maybe I just shouldn't do this. What's failing though? Cannot be null component. They don't have an entity type because of where I added this? Okay, yeah, I guess so. They should spawn where they're fully obscured. They will. They will. But the fade in is just in case a tree moves or something, or there's like a couple pixels visible. I don't want them to just appear out of nowhere. All right, so if I click them, they should drop some potions. They're not. Are they at least going to stop when they get over to here? They did. And they did transition into wait, which means that now they'll face forward. Nice. Look at them. You can barely see them there. You can't click them either. And not being able to click them, I don't really fully understand. Why is that happening? Goblin. Oh, they don't have a clickable area. So what, the Guildmaster does? Yep. Okay, excuse me. Why? So Guildmaster has a click function which calls into the state machine click. Okay, I understand. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Which means we need to do everything else that was there too. They should dig themselves out of the ground. I like that idea. On some kind of drill. I'm trying not to add strings or artwork to this. So just do this with what we have already. And all we have is a walking animation. I guess we could like spin their sprite really fast. Make it look like a drilling animation. So this inherits from NPC. NPC apparently has a way of clicking them. But walking entity does not inherit from this. So I guess let's just handle clicking separately. This can just be private. We need to actually get the clickable area. We don't need this stuff. Just make that lowercase. Then go figure out where we put this NPC. Sounds pretty good. So make a clickable area and just set it around the goblin. Instantiate clickable. That's not a thing you can do. It's apparently just an area. You just call it clickable area. Then add a collider under it. Okie dokie. So area 2D, collider. Nice. Now call this clickable area. Copy that. Make it unique. Put the script on it. Give it a rectangle. That already looks pretty good. Well, the goblin's shorter. Yeah, so actually we probably should shrink this a little bit. I mean, not too much. I don't want players to struggle with clicking them. But they do stop moving for quite some time. So actually they're a little bit shorter than even that. You can copy paste nodes, yeah. I just didn't want it to use the exact same underlying shapes so that I'd be modifying those. If you draw something up really quick, I don't think so. I don't think you want to see the kind of drill I would draw. All right, so in ready, we want to get the clickable area. Okay, fine. Don't type anything for me. I'm waiting for it to type this garbage out. And then we need a handle for that. Clickable area. That's an NPC. What am I doing? Left click released goes into here, which calls on click. So we can just call on click directly. On click. There it is. No overload takes an input event. Yeah, sure, whatever. Input event. All right, playing a sound we eventually want to do play a sound. But now we should be able to spawn some potions. No suitable method found override. Oh, I don't care about that. I want to at least get this working, then I'll take a quick break. I don't think we'll be able to get another whole feature done after this. Maybe we'll try the item bags thing just because it's fast. All right, so now as they're walking, you should be able to click them and get potions. Okay, clicking worked, and presumably the potions worked. Yes, but their sprite is broken, and it's probably because I messed up the scene somehow. Value cannot be null, component, ECS, goblin init, line 37. Oh, because I'm not calling the base ready. Oh my god. Very silly of me. So this is why I want to still use Godot and C#. I've had enough of these errors happen over the last 2 years that I just immediately know how to fix some of them, and it saves a lot of time. So I think it's worth exercising that expertise. So you can click them, they'll drop potions. It's dropping a little bit weirdly because it's like they're flying out of the portal. We need to customize that position a little bit. But yeah, once they get here, they should just wait. They should still be clickable. They should still drop items. Yeah, it's harder to click them because you're clicking items, I guess. There's no limit to how many items you can click, apparently. Neat. Let's make some workers to clean those up. Get them. Get them. Wow. They got them all. It's pretty good. Now let's make them feed them all to the slime. Yay. That is game development. Okay, so now, oh, hang on one second. My wife is calling. Actually, I'll just take my break now. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Okay, hello again, everyone. Close the game. So we got some of this stuff done already. We got to figure this out. Wait, no, there's no thing we have to figure out. We're already done. Okay, so now when you click them, we want to make them scurry out of town. So calling on clicked, I don't know how I feel about this. We rely on checking which state you're in. And then the state needs to call back to this to transition into like a, yeah, public void. I'm going to call this clicked, but we're going to need to do something different here to rename this to make it clear how this is different from on click. All right, in this case, we're going to transition in the state machine. Transition to name of leave. And that should be that, right? Yeah. So another way of doing this is just in the on click here, check the state machine's current state, which we don't have, and I don't think is a smart way of doing things anyway, because that's the whole point of a state machine. I generally take care of all the to-do items that I have. Man. I'm going to petition. What's Athletics? Is there some missing words here, or am I... Is this a sign I shouldn't be streaming anymore? As moving platforms. Oh. That would be pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, you can make a PR. Or trampolines, yeah. Be a lot of cool stuff. I wanted to make it so you could shoot fireballs at each other at the very end. But I started looking at it and it ended up taking too long. So I just gave up. Okay, what am I doing? I am looking at the two states where you can click them. And instead of doing this, we're going to call entity.clicked. And then same thing for wait. Entity.clicked. And then in this function, we call this, which should just be saved to the town. I mean, I guess we can get it from the town component. And then we want to, oh, that's actually it. That's all we want to do. Okay, let's try that. Remember that in the VODs? Yeah. Some bad code. I did not figure out what I was supposed to do. Bad code for me, to be clear. All right, so we add the goblin. If you click them now, they'll scurry out of town. Okay, that didn't work. What's going on there? Entity already has a component of type target location component. Oh, because we're not leaving. Okay, I understand. I'm actually glad we did that. So on leaving, public override void leave. Remove that. Everything should be good. Uses trampolines to train their astronauts. Added to useless facts. I feel like there's got to be a lot of kind of crazy training for going into space. All right, so that works, except that there's still an error here. I like how fast they move out of town. Cannot cast leave town to type ICS entity. That's strange. Where's that happening? Walk sprite sheet converter is converting. Oh, did I pass in this? I must have. I must use the word this somewhere. Yeah, there it is. It should be entity. And possibly it should even be their sprite. No, just the entity. Hey, Matt. Well, did you... I don't know when you started watching, but I don't know if you've seen this feature. It looks pretty good so far. It's still in the early stages. Just got here. Okay. So here's what's going to happen. After maybe you beat the dragon or so like not in the very beginning of the game. So somewhere around here, you beat the dragon. Now, just like how Adam can show up in your town, a goblin can show up in your town behind a tree somewhere. So I'm only starting to work on this, but they'll occasionally walk between the trees. And if you click them, they'll drop a couple items and then run out of your town. But if you don't click them, they'll just go hide behind another tree. So we just speed this up. And since they're green, they'll blend in a little bit. So like they'll go wait here. they're too obscured right now. They shouldn't be here. They should be a little bit to the side. But then you can click them, and yeah, then they'll leave your town. And they just run away, and then they'll later show up behind another tree. So I really like this idea. I think this is pretty neat. They just drop a couple of potions for now. Like maybe we keep that, maybe we give them something else. Now the dragon doesn't have a name, but we're probably not naming them at this point. It's just dragon. Yeah. If they sneakily buy an item now and then. I want it to be like a surprise. Like most people won't be paying close attention to the customers. So there'll be a goblin and they'll just be like, oh yeah, that's just another customer. And then it'll just disappear seemingly because it's behind a tree somewhere. They'll be like, wait, where'd it go? So yeah, I like this idea a lot. And it didn't take that long to code. This is another one of those just like little delightful things. So when it is walking, right now we have it going there. I actually want it to go a little bit farther to the side, which would put them, what, more positive. So we lower this number, maybe like that. Yeah, there are 3 more ideas. I'll leave them to you to figure out later. So if you happen to watch and you see me code them, then great. If not, I want you to just experience them in the game. But I really like one of them that I want to do. The other 2 are, I think they're fun. I think they're cool, but yeah, I really like one of them. All right, so you go and wait over here. Yeah, so see, they're barely visible. There's like some blue there. If you were looking from far away, you'd be like, that's a little bit off, but you might not see it. And it's fine if you don't see it. But yeah, that's exactly the amount of obscurity I want this thing to have. Because you'll see it walking there. And if you click it, yeah, you'll see it drop the items. And now you can't click. Oh, you still can. That shouldn't happen. Why is that happening? That's strange. Why is that happening? I should make one off stream. So the way I look at this is, even if every single person here played the game, for Skeleseller to be successful, there'd had to be so many more people that it's going to surprise the majority of the player base. It'd be nice if the other NPCs got scared when they see the goblin hiding behind the tree. Give the player a subtle hint. Well, their hint, and hey, Goldskin, their hint is going to just be that they'll see the goblin walking. Like, they're not just going to stop behind a tree forever. They'll eventually move from that tree over to, like, this tree. And there might be a couple minutes in between, but eventually you will see them moving. And if you don't, it's okay. Like, they'll just never click this thing, and that's fine. All right, so this will break in, but now it's going to scurry away, and now I got to click them before they leave. Yeah, so why did this happen? Oh, leave town has a clicked function? That shouldn't be there. Okay, that's my bad. It's just a simple copy paste mistake. All right, so now I think we're in good shape, right? I click this, and then as it's leaving, I can't click it again. Yeah. And then they're just gone. It looks great, though. Yeah, so let's go polish everything up. We have a lot to change now. So I think step 1 is they should always spawn behind trees. So how about we start by doing this? Let's go make the goblin. And then rather than ever having them leave the spawn state, I am going to never have them transition out of it. And I'm going to snap them to the mouse and then figure out what position they're at. And then figure out what trees they can hide behind. So we got a little bit of difficulty coming up with this. I need to save off the goblin. Okay, let's just do this temporarily. Private goblin question mark goblin. And then when we create the goblin, let's set this here. And then in process, not that, process. Let's do global position equals get global mouse position and then print out their global position. And if the goblin is null, just return. Okay. Is he going to get an outline to indicate he can be clicked? He probably should, shouldn't he? I just think it'll make it too obvious. Because eventually they need to cross town, and I want them to look like they're just a regular customer. It is more work, but I don't think it's a lot more work. I'm just debating from just a game design perspective. Is it worth doing? All right, so the goblin should be on my cursor and isn't. What's going on? It says they're on my cursor. Why can't I see them? Oh, there they are. They're like way off to the side. Why is that happening? Am I supposed to have done get local mouse position? Get local mouse position. Is it this? It is that. Whoops. Okay, my bad. And it's the local mouse position according to the parent node. And it's just regular position, I guess. I think that'll work. Maybe we do position. I don't know. All right, so now we have this snap to the cursor. Yeah, perfect. Okay, this is exactly what I want because I wanted to see where can we hide them and still have them be on the path. So like there is pretty good. You know, there's pretty good. Can we put them behind this tree? Because I'd love for them to just be right there. Where is that? Negative 105, negative 105, 102. Negative 105, 102. Negative 105, 102. Now, ideally, I'm not hard coding all of these points, but I want to see at least, is this a good way to figure out that they're good? So let's go change spawn to transition back into walk. Let's change town to not do this. And let's try that out. And should they move slower or faster to not arouse suspicion? Probably just whatever speed the other customers are moving at. But they had to be clickable, so I guess they had to be slow. All right, so we're going to click this, and they are going to move up to this tree and then hide, or that tree. I don't remember which one. I love it. Yeah, that's great. And you click them, and there are the potions, and you can bring them into your shop. Yeah, this is great. I really like this feature. So we need to get a list of all the tree positions where the goblin can hide. So there are a couple different ways we can do this. We can just go make nodes pointing to all of these and then fetch them from the code. That shouldn't be too bad. Hey, who cares? We could also hard code them, which I think is kind of silly. I think we should just do it the nodes way. So yeah, let's add in a node here. And we'll call this goblin hiding spots. And then add in a node 2D. All right, so 1 is exactly what I just said, which is negative 105, 102. Negative 105, 102. Yeah. So we pretty much position them like 2 pixels from the top of a tree. Hiding spot 1. Okay, hiding spot 2 is going to be negative 255, 390. So it should be over there. Yep, good. Okay. Hiding spot number 3. Are there more animations available? It'd be funny if there was some slight movement every so often, like he's peeking out briefly. I was thinking we could have the walk animation of him like bobbing his head. But I still don't really think it's necessary. I think it's like, oh, hey, one of the trees has a little blue thing on it. And that blue thing is just the goblin's goggles. All right, what other trees did I highlight? Because if they can pick any random 2 trees, they can pick 2 that are very close to each other, like this one to this one. And they'll be hiding for a very long time. I think that's okay, though. Yeah. So let's put the next one over here. We're just going to move this up until we put it right about there. So if the first one was there, then this one should probably be like, let's put it over there maybe. But it's not constant, like every 30 seconds or something. Yeah. The pond is available for hiding? Oh, we'd have to allow the path going down there, right? Or maybe actually behind the tavern could potentially work, especially if you can't unlock this before you get the tavern. No, wait, then you'd click the tavern, not the goblin. I have to put it in places that's not clickable. All right, well, how many of these did we get? Can I cross these out? I really need to figure out like what's the just regular brush tool here. Pen tool. All right, so we did this one. Oh my God. How do you draw? What? All right, I need to learn this program. Well, whatever, let's just draw something. So we've done that and that. Good. We've done that one. Now I wanted there to be one there. Maybe let's just pick these three. These three, maybe? Yeah, I'll pick those three, the big ones. All right, so now hiding spot 4. We go put you over here. Okay. Now hiding spot 5 is that big tree and then that big tree kind of below it. Whoop, too much zoom. Hiding spot 5, like right around there. And hiding spot 6 is down here. Let's put you out to the side. Okay. So goblin hiding spots. How do we do this? Do we add a node, a group, wander region? And what about this worker idle area, customer spawn point? I guess when the goblin spawns, it can just maintain all of these. So I'll make a new one. Scene group. Goblin hiding spots. All right, can we select all these at once? Nice. Okay, so now we go get that. And go into... Actually, we don't need this in Godot string names. I guess just when we make the goblin. In fact, we should probably make the goblin... No, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I think it's fine. So hiding spots are going to be a private list of node 2Ds. Actually, it could be a Godot collection. I don't have a problem with that, do I? No, I kind of do. All right, hiding spots. So hiding spots equals get nodes in group. Cool. And the group is going to be goblin hiding spots. Cast to node 2Ds to a list, which I guess we do like so. Okay, so then this needs to be public so that the state can access it. Get private set. And walk is going to randomly pick one. Vector2 random target equals entity dot that dot random element. Okay. Cannot implicitly convert node 2D to oh, right. It's got to be a global position, right? Now what? Two different kind of vector2. What? How'd system numerics get there? Oh, because I inherited the wrong, or I imported the wrong thing. There we go. What's Goblin's name? It's Flare. Flare the Goblin. All right. Our issue is that it's only ever going to walk one place and then wait and stop forever. So we have to have some timer in here that makes it perfect emoji. I don't think that's an insult or anything. It's a cool looking goblin. Look at this thing. All right, do we have any timers maybe in customer idle? We have a time in state. I kind of want it to just be a timer, like a proper timer. Yeah, let's do add child timer. Let's find out. Oh, hey, we have one of these. Well. All right, so this is in the wait state. I would like one timer, please. Timer stop and queue free. And where do we start this thing? Here. So how long should they wait around for? This is a double, right? Yeah. Double wait time. This is how long they're going to be behind a tree. I think it should be potentially pretty long numbers, but I have to keep in mind that you're only playing story mode for maybe 4 hours. And to get to the dragon in the first place would probably take you about 25 minutes. So you got about 3.5 hours of goblin time. So I think somewhere between 30 seconds to 2.5 minutes. Yeah, let's start with that. Random.shared. Next double. Didn't I make like a range or something? Double range? 30 and what, 5 times that? 150? Goblin time. Whole timer. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Dad Walking. Sorry, I didn't see you there. You snuck in like this goblin. All right, so when this thing times out, if we were still in this state, we're going to transition to a different state. The state we transition to is going to be the walk state again. Yeah. Okay, so now let's lower this to just somewhere between 3 and 10 seconds so that I can test this out. So now we don't have to wait a very long time. We should put Flair's card game into this. You click the goblin 10 times. You play Twisted Grove. You need to beat the whole game to come back to this game. All right, we make our goblin. It walks to a random tree. I did not test all these positions, so we need to test them all. So that's still visible. That's pretty good. Now wait somewhere between 3 to 10 seconds, which I'm speeding up, and it walks to another random tree. Excuse me. Here's walked across town to get to there. That's very visible in my opinion. We should probably make that a little bit more obscured. Then I walked back to this one again. It's quite a shame. Abby, come on. Yeah, these are too visible. Okay, so the upper left trees are too visible. Let's try to remember that. But we've seen half of them so far. I'd like to see the other 3. It just loves that one tree at the bottom right. Oh, no, I moved too fast. All right, now you come over here. Oh, yeah, that's super visible. Okay, so all the upper trees, all 3 of them are too much. Too visible. I should have taken pictures. That's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay. If you got good eyes. Yeah, but I still like the main time you'd see them is here, and then you can click them. If they happen to hide and you happen to know the locations, I guess there are only so many of them. Like, I think that's a good level of obscurity. So I like that one. So let's see. The one on the rightmost side is too far out to the up and left. You know what? That's not too bad. Yeah, that's not too bad. Let's keep that one where it is. I want to see the upper left one now. This is like the dumbest way to test this. In fact, can I just make like 1 million of these? Yes, I can. Oh, they don't always make it to exactly that spot. But yeah, that's standing out a bit too much. So which hiding spot number are you? 3. Okay, let's make you go like 1 pixel farther down. And then the one over here, which is 5, should go right and down. Okay, let's try that out. We're going to be like, what? They're going to discover this right at the end of the game and be like, why'd I get 2 blue potions out of this? No, that's still not hidden enough. We need you to go like 3 pixels to the right at least. Will people be looking for it or be surprised? If it were surprised, I personally wouldn't see it. They will be surprised. Although they might not even, this might not stand out at all. So the way this is going to work is they're going to spawn behind a tree and then they'll just randomly start walking somewhere. So you might just see them go here and be like, wait, what just happened? Like, what is this? And then you click them and get a couple potions. You're like, whoa, 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 hold on. Can I keep clicking that? And people are probably going to try and it's not going to do anything. Although maybe if you manage to click it like 10 more times, I should have it drop a yellow potion. It's going to be impossible on something like a Steam Deck or controller, I mean. Anyway, so let's make all these and see how this one looks now. And it's still too visible, I think. If you're not looking closely, you wouldn't see them there. But I think they should go like 1 or 2 more pixels to the side. Let's try that. Let's also cut that out. It's just spamming me. Yeah. But yeah, I'm super happy I worked on this. I think this will be cool. Someone who's been playing the game for a little while will be like, why is there a green customer now? And we had the graphics. It's not any extra work. All right, let's take a look. Okay, that's pretty good. What about this one? That's pretty obscured. In fact, actually, that should be the test. I should just spawn like 10 of them, or maybe 2 or 3, and then see if I can spot them. Like that one stands out still a bit too much, I think. Yeah, let's make their wait times longer. Let's make it 30 to 60 seconds. Getting back into the Treasure Island now, which is weird after a game jam. How'd you enjoy the game jam? Also, probably is weird going back to a project. I think switching projects does give some perspective, and I should try it more frequently. I'm just a one project kind of person. Okay, so all the goblins are going and hiding. Can I see them clearly from here? I mean, I can see a couple of pixels that are standing out. There's that one. That one's a little bit more obvious, I think. Yeah, like that's a little too much. Let's hide that one a bit more. There. Because I don't want you to see it immediately. We should put an achievement around this. All right, now let's see the ones that go up to the upper left. How visible are they? I think it's pretty nice. Oh, that one's quite obscured now, right? Maybe I covered it too much. No, they're stopping at different points. That's why. Oh, yeah. Why is that happening? It exhausted you first and last? Yeah. I think, yeah. I mean, I guess you can always do a game jam at your leisure. If it says it's going to be 2 days, you could just be like, well, I'm doing it myself in 5 days. Because I still think there are some cool ideas with that stuff. Move a label in a form 2 pixels down. Yeah. Why do these stop at different points? Oh, because there's a threshold you set. Oh, and with customers, it doesn't matter. Oh, I should probably go figure that out. Yeah, we have add wander to location. This calls this. Doesn't this have a threshold? Distance threshold. Yeah, there it is. What is this by default? It's 0 by default, I guess. So then the navigation system, if the threshold isn't set, well, I guess it's always set. Yeah, weird. And then how are they messing this up? Who even sets this? Go to shop? Okay. Last move update frame should be clamped of some sort. I think this should just work. Hang on one second. The way that we do this is actually in Pathfind. And Pathfind checks for pretty much like equality here. And if you're close enough to the position, yeah, distance threshold. The distance threshold would be 0, right? I guess I could just put a breakpoint there. Problem is I need it to be for a goblin specifically. Oh, you know what I could do? I could put a breakpoint here. And then just spawn a new goblin. There we go. Now we can do this and figure out what its threshold is. 0. Strange. Strange indeed. So I'm just going to spawn like a million of these things. Are they like flashing up there really quickly? I think they are. But I'm going to spawn them behind trees. Oh, you know what it might be? It might be because I was speeding up the game. Yeah, like all of these are stacking on exactly the same point now. And maybe those were there from earlier. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to tell. Let's make them scurry away. Let's make them all scurry away. That way we don't have any goblins left. There. Great. Goodbye. Are any of you hiding over there? Yep. Get rid of you. All right. Any other goblins? Yeah, there's one. Let's speed this up. We should see them moving. Oh, yep. They are pretty good at hiding, I guess. Oh, they came back? That can't be right. Why'd they come back? Shouldn't disappear make them just leave for good? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what could have caused that to happen. They don't have a way to leave this state. The only thing that can make them do that is I put a transition in here and clicked, but this clicked is called from somewhere else. Yeah, walk and wait. Threshold is red but never set. No, it's set from customers. I just never set it in Goblin. We set the distance threshold right here. Wait. No, hang on. Sorry. Oh, maybe we... Did I misunderstand that? Hold on. I might have misunderstood that. Target location component. I thought we had a setter for this. Yeah, here it is. Right here. Yeah, go to shop is what does it. Because this is what makes it so that we don't go to the center point of the shop every time. That we're like close enough. All right, why are they leaving their disappear state? Leave town, transit. Oh, it transitions into wait? No, it should transition to disappear. All right, that's that problem. Well, I still don't really have an answer for this. Let's try one more time. Yeah, we still have a decent amount to do to finish this up. Although it's like mostly working. So are they all stacking on exactly the same point? It does kind of look like they are. Yeah. So I think they are getting set to exactly where they should be. So any that we see standing out quite a lot, we should just nerf. Like this. Maybe 1 pixel farther into the tree. Okay, any others? Seeing their little ears stick out is so funny to me. I should ask my wife to spot the goblin and see if she can find this. So 1 tree is there. The other 2 are up here. Then there, and there. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. This wasn't a bug, was it? Does that mean you fixed all bugs and glitches? It wasn't a bug, and it does not mean we fixed everything. I just want to do some fun stuff instead of just constantly working on like random little bugs. I wonder if we should ever spawn a bunch of these. It is kind of hilarious. These are all running out of town. In fact, it would actually be kind of neat if clicking one of them made them all run out of town. And it turns out they were hiding everywhere. No, they're definitely going to 2 different locations. Why is it happening? There's only one hiding spot up there, right? Yeah. And walk just picks a random one, doesn't it? Yeah. Huh, strange. I don't know. I don't know what's causing that. How could that happen? What I could do, and this is kind of cheating, I could say entity.global position equals random target. So now, no matter what, they'll always be at the same spot because we just set it. Maybe they came from the left and the right. But they should stop at exactly the point. Although, I don't know. Maybe it has to do with like the navigation mesh or something. I'm not super concerned. If the player ends up getting 6 gold worth of potions, then fine. Let's try this. Are they going to look like they teleport now? Yeah, they do. But now they'll definitely be at the right spot. In fact, now you can see that this is not showing at all. You can't possibly see that character. Huh. Okay, I nerfed that too much then. I'm not going to change the navigation system for this. Let's just move this up. Character, if the player sees them, then they see them. That's fine. Although actually it's okay to have them be a little more hidden too. Yeah, you can click them all with one click. I don't consider that to be a problem. There will only be one anyway. All right, so in the end, this is what we're going to end up with. They won't all spawn out of there. That I'm going to fix. But yeah, they'll be visible here a lot of the time. That's okay. Actually, if you are paying attention, you'd be like, why did I never see that character leave out of this tree? That's what I think is the interesting part. And if you don't see them and you knew they were here and you didn't see them here, you know they could only be in this space. So you could just eventually click them all and you'd find them. So funny. Actually, maybe they should just emit potions on their entirety of their trip outside of town. That could be more interesting. Then they need to be very weak potions, though. Alternatively, they could just give you money. It just says +1 gold every so often. What's better? I think dropping items is more interesting in this game. They jump into the portal. Actually, they jumped into the portal. Oh, that's kind of an interesting idea. I think I like that better. Not to enter battle. I don't think I want them to do that. But yeah, if we say here they go to the portal position, and then in their disappear state, we just hide them for now. Then they'll look like they came from the portal into your town, and then they leave through the portal. And then they wouldn't have to run as far either. So if I click one of these, it does look pretty cool. So you find one behind a tree, you're like, what? Do you think it'd be confusing with your adventurers? I do like how that looks. I mean, I guess we could just randomize it. They could run to the portal or they could run outside of town. Are there any more in town? You can just click the places where they hide without even knowing if they're there. No, there aren't any. Oh yeah, what do people think? Option 1, always go to the portal. Option 2, always go over the bridge. And option 3, randomly pick 1 or 2. So yeah, right now, they're just going into the portal. Play a specific sound. Yeah. Oh, because they have different speeds. That's why. Oh, we can just set their speed to always be the same. Yeah. Nav speed 42. Make all goblins have the same speed so that they hide themselves the same way behind trees, hopefully. Send them to the grinder. They run into here and turn into keys. It'd be funny if they snuck in through the portal and then ran back to it to escape. Yeah, I like that idea. I think that's what we're doing. I think their spawn is going to put them into the portal. So global position equals town component, get town portal. If I could type it. And then, yeah, fade them in, I guess. Fade functions dot fade in entity 0.5. You probably won't even see this because it'll be behind the portal. Yeah, I like the idea of them coming from the portal. That would also give you a chance to see them. Although you'd probably accidentally click them when you're picking up. No, maybe this is bad. Maybe they should start behind a tree. Yeah. Because if you were just clicking to get an item, how does that work? Let's say there's an item there and they walk on top of it. Yeah. You'll click this, you'll get 2 more items and they'll go. Yeah. I don't think I want to do that. I want them to start behind a tree. But thankfully, that's pretty easy to do because we already have this in walk, right? Yeah. So we just do that exact thing. We spawn them in a random location. What am I missing here? Cannot convert from vector 2 to... Why do I keep doing that? And then fade them in, I guess. And put them into the wait state immediately. Oh, that should just be get random element. Okay, now there we go. There we have it. I think this will be pretty good. So they'll start in the wait state. And they're going to fade in too. All right, so check this out. If we just look at this tree, for example, and I press page up a bunch of times, 1/6 of the time it should spawn here. I don't see them. And I've been pressing page up repeatedly. Oh, they're coming out of there. Whoops. Yeah, whoops. That's not supposed to be there. That's just supposed to be their position. Entity.global position equals that. All right, my bad. This time we got it. And this is pretty much the remaining part that I wanted to do. I think this kind of wraps up the feature. Oh, except for the spawning stuff. Okay, so yeah, if we just look at this. Ah, there we go. Yeah, they spawn there. Then we wait a bit. And yep, there they go. They eventually move to another tree. And now if you're watching them, you just click them. God, this is such a great feature. Yeah. Huh. They can go to, well, maybe that was due to the engine timescale. Love it. Love it. Great. Okay, so what else do we need to do here? Set sounds. Yeah. Let's go find a sound. Home, downloads, Leo, open. All right. We have anything with goblin in the name? Probably do, and we probably don't want to use any of these sounds, but let's see what these sound like. Attack! Okay, that's not going to happen.
Attack! Okay. Yes? Huh?
You could play huh. I don't think that's very fitting in the game.
Can't reach. Can't do.
And that's all we have. We could also just make it a random like monster sound.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. Let's go see if there's a better one. There are a lot of sounds here. I mean, it could also just play like a generic loot sound, like you getting an item. That's actually not bad. It makes it sound like you kind of scared it and it's scrambling away. I kind of like that. EXP up. Do we already use that? No, we don't. Well, let's see what it sounds like in the game. Yeah. Go take that and put it into here. Game, assets, audio, sounds. Technically, this is classified as a UI sound at this point because you're the one triggering it always. So I'll put this in here. All right, take care, Leap Year Girl. Have a good evening. All right, so sound ID. What do we call this? Like steal from Goblin. I'll just call it Click Goblin. Click. Yeah, sure. Goblin, and this is here. Volume, we're not going to change. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so now we play this when you click them. Goblin, sound ID, got it. I wanted to import that. Oh my god, what is the matter with me? And then town component dot get town. This is kind of stupid because we do this in 2 different places. Yeah, we do. We might as well just save this off. Private town equals null. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. We don't save it here. We save it in a town component. I mean, let's just stick to that. Yeah. Okay, so now it'll play a sound when you click them. And they'll scramble out of town. And we'll see how this sound compares to the other ones. Oh, you know what? Let's just delete our sound save file. So there's whatever the default is. Do we have a local save file somewhere? Yeah, there. Title. Delete. Local settings. Okay, so now when we load, we'll be at the normal volume level that everyone starts the game at. Most people will probably customize it. Oh, right, they spawn behind a tree. I was looking for them. Yeah, that's pretty good. This reminds me of Super Mario RPG, where you have to get, what's his name, Croco, in the starting area. Can I pull this up? Yeah, here. And it makes a kind of similar sound, too. That's great. That is definitely great. Great sound. Where's the next one? Yeah. Hey, Crow. How often do you want them to spawn? Probably every couple minutes. And it's just one that's going to spawn. We haven't actually handled that yet. It says wait for a while, then go back to spawn. So let's do the wait for a while bit. We have that in the wait command here. So we'll do this. We'll delete everything else. Close, close, disappear. Okay, so we are going to start a timer. And when the timer's done, we're going to transition back into the spawn state. Actually, they go from spawn right into wait. I don't know. I'll have to think about what timing I want for this. We also need the leave thing here. What's going on? Did I not include this? Huh. Oh, that was about. All right. How long? Okay, so let me think about this. You just clicked the goblin. Now you shouldn't be able to click another one for how long? Maybe at least like 3 minutes. Yeah. The goblin will seemingly cease to exist. It's actually just hidden so that we don't need to keep creating new ones. Yeah, I think this is it. So 180 seconds, 3 minutes. And it'll start walking around. Actually, what it's going to do is it's going to spawn, and then it's going to wait another half minute to 2.5 minutes. So I guess we should subtract the average of those, which is 90 seconds. No. I want to do this. Yeah. If you don't see this that frequently, so what? All right, so we got the spawning logic, we got the disappearing logic. We got pretty much everything, right? Only do this in story mode, so we don't actually have the initial spawn. Set up the initial spawn of the goblin. Yeah, only do this after beating a certain boss, only do this in story mode. And then add tiny smoke puffs. Do we have graphics for that? Let me take a look. I don't know if we do. I'm also not too bummed out if we don't have it. No one else does this in the game. Super Retro World here did. Okay. So I don't even know what we'd search for here. I don't know, smoke, cloud. No, there's just a bunch of like atlases that contain everything. Character pack. I mean, anything else in here? Free icons? No. Desert pack? No. Reuse building smoke? Oh, that's what you're picturing? I was picturing like a cartoonish white smoke. But yeah, I guess we could do that. Alternatively, we could do the thing that like, oh, what game did this? One of the Game Boy Advance Castlevanias. I want to say Harmony of Dissonance. There was this effect on the character every single time they were moving. Where's the actual gameplay? Yeah, like this kind of shows a little bit. Yeah, there was like little shadow characters there behind you. We could just do that you've got like these fading out sprites behind them. But I'm actually not super concerned about this. I don't know if I want to do this. Because I do want to get to some of these other features too. Do we have some like obvious thing? No, I don't see anything obvious here. I mean, we could take, I think the overworld pack has some, you could take those clouds. That looks silly. All right. It is a cool idea though. Okay, so right now you have to press page up and that's what kicks this thing off. And that's an unhandled input. I want to make it so that this happens. Maybe we do the rare customer spawn system is what's responsible for this. There's some like goblin spawning thing here. Oh wait, no, this is kind of silly, right? It should just be when you beat the dragon or when you load a save file where you've beaten the dragon. And instead of the goblin spawning in and immediately being in the spawn state, they're in the disappear state. Yeah, so you have to wait 3 minutes from loading from a save file. Hey, Christine. Hey, Nicholas. You compile for Mac easier because people on Windows need to buy a Mac. Yeah, and that was part of the consideration for getting a Mac. Building for a Mac is tough from PC. Typically, well, I mean, the only way is technically not allowed by Apple. So, yeah, you just need a Mac. And I guess you can get a cheapo Mac, like a secondhand Mac Mini or something. And that's not a bad idea if you're on a budget and you still want to build for Mac. But yeah, I also wanted to see what was it like to main a Mac. I like the hardware. I do not like that I have to have a dock for this thing and that the dock costs a ton of money. Got to be a better way, right? GitHub Workers. Well, but that's building from a Mac, right? Like, I guess what I mean is at some point you need physical Mac hardware involved because Apple says it's against their terms of service to do a Hackintosh kind of thing. I'm trying to think about this for a second. What do I have plugged into here? It's literally just DisplayPort. Mac Studio doesn't have DisplayPort, does it? Hang on one second. Let me look. No. I wonder if I should just get some DisplayPort to USB. Because I just realized I don't really use half the ports on this USB hub. Maybe I don't need to buy a new one. Can build for Mac from Godot on Windows. Oh, because they wrap the whole engine in it anyway. It's kind of interesting. Hey, Vibe. Main reason I'll never officially support Mac, even though I think I work. I think so. I don't know what your main reason is actually, but if you're making games or something and you just don't want to support some percentage of the player base, it's probably not a good idea. I can't say for sure how many people are going to buy the game Skeleseller on a Mac, but there is a wish list breakdown by platform here. Actually, you can see it's not many who like specifically chose Mac, I guess. We look at all history. It is 88. Okay, well, I don't know. Yeah, so never mind. That wouldn't be enough money to buy a Mac Mini. Hi, it's Adam Easter egg at the end. Where Yoshi thanks you, the player. Thanks, Showboat. I'll not buy it just for the silly license. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, you'll go the Hackintosh route or get a GitHub worker or something. Yeah, it's totally fine. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna delete. Well, I'll delete this eventually. We only have the one goblin that you create, right? So yeah, I think the rare customer spawn system can just be responsible for this. Private goblin. Okay, so why even do this actually? Shouldn't we just do this in the two cases that can happen? Yeah, this is kind of silly. So we don't need this. We could keep track of it. Yeah. And then this should be renamed to something like create items at position. Or we could just have a signal here and this thing listens for it and then just calls this stuff. I see you fixed the dock. I just bypassed it. I moved some USB slots around. I've got more USB-C slots than A slots, but the only adapters I have, I can't show you now. The only adapters I have are USB 2. So I plugged in my webcam and that's totally fine, but I couldn't plug in my, anyway, it doesn't matter. I moved some things around. Yeah, so this is fine. So we're going to call this when you beat the dragon in story mode. Beat elite instance for first time. So if instance ID equals the volcano and the game mode is not challenge mode, so you're in story mode, then create the goblin. And then kind of the same thing when you're loading from a save file. We just have to do this from here. I don't love what I'm doing right now. Battle panel dot instance map dot has. Isn't there some like elite thing that I have? Has defeated all elites. I know I'm typing this wrong. I thought there was like a has defeated elite that I made. Highest level, get highest elite level defeated. Here, this takes in an instance, right? Yeah, okay. So we want to check this. If this is greater than 0 and you're not in this, then create the goblin. There we go. All right, now let's print this out because otherwise I'm never going to notice it. Created the goblin. And then create items at position takes in a goblin. I mean, this should just take in a vector too, right? And probably the items as well. Loot. Yeah. If I'm going to do this, though, and all it's going to do is call add items, then that just means I should make this public. Yeah. So let's put this near the other public functions. And then create items at position can be gone. And then the goblin can call that instead. Add items, loot this dot global position. And I already deleted the loot. Oh well. So this is one of the last decisions here. What should this thing drop? I think just 2 potions is not great, especially because at that point in the game, you will have beaten the volcano. So 2 potions don't really mean anything. Maybe we should just randomly pick 2 items that you found already that are not rare. That's not bad. Yeah, maybe we do that. So how do we get that? Where's the seen items tracker? I think it's in the town. In which case we should do this. Town.seen items tracker.get random non-rare item of type. There is I want to get one of any type. Get desirable item. Why is this like simplify link expression? What was this suggesting? Oh, neat. That's cool. Athletics. All right, so get desirable items, just seen items where. Yeah, okay. I think we can do this. Yeah, loot dot at. Well, let's just do this in a for loop. For in I equals 0, I is less than 2, I plus plus. All right, let's go try that out. So as soon as you beat the dragon, you should get the goblin in your town. So let's start a new game. And now we're gonna just speed run through this. Oops. Now I need money. And there's the dragon. Okay, so up until now, it has not printed anything about the goblin. Now we beat the dragon and it says created the goblin. So now the goblin is right there, but we can't click them. And it's not until 3 minutes pass. So let's go do this. Stopwatch. 3 minutes is 180 seconds, so this would actually have taken 22, and I just spent some of that time already. So after another like 15 seconds, let's go see if we can find the goblin. I mean, we might be able to see them sooner than that. But yeah, I have it running at 8x speed, so we don't need to wait the full time. Actually, that's what's going to trigger that. Then it's a 30-second to 2.5 minute wait, so they might not actually be in town. All right, well, it's been long enough. Oh, there they are. Where'd they go? There. Okay, so there's the character. We can only find items that we've found before from them. So if I click them, they drop nothing. That's not good. Where are my items? Where are my items? Seen items where item ID is not rare. Oh, and the shop contains it? So it would be able to find any potion though. Which is a big life potion or those small potions, yeah. What happened? Or are they there? Did they disappear? Maybe they were there and I just didn't see them. I have seen items though. Oh wait, maybe it's gotta be that they went into your shop. Oh, that's what marks something as seen. It's not actually seen. It's when you put it in your shop. Where do we do this? Add. What calls this? And why do we check for contains? Oh, because we trigger a thing. Okay. Add items in the town. Oh, that's weird. Wait. We could just check this. I just save the game. And then we go look at the save file. Seen items. Yeah, we have a bunch of seen items. What is wrong? Why didn't you give me any loot? Oh, because I forgot to do loot.add. Oh my god. All right, my bad. And then this should just be item ID. Or what? Is that already an ID? It's a hash set of IDs? Why in the world? What? So this should just be pluralized to get desirable items. Okay. List item ID desirable items equals this. All right, now what we want to do is random element. Cool. Now what's the problem? Oh yeah, we need a number 1. Okay. Okay, so now we could go test this. We have already saved the game, so when I load, we will have the goblin in the game because we have beaten the dragon. But I need to make sure that it requires you to beat the dragon and then the goblin never gets created in bone mode. Or should they get created in bone mode, but you have to beat the dragon there too? And you typically wouldn't? No, that's kind of silly because then if you knew that, you'd go seek out the dragon just so you'd potentially get the goblin, so you'd potentially save a little bit more time. Yeah, I'll just leave them as a story mode thing for now. All right, so that should have already created them. Yep, it did. All right, and now rather than waiting and speeding things up and whatever else, what we're gonna do is we're gonna change the disappear state so that instead of waiting 3 minutes, it waits 1 second. And that way we can test to see if we would have gotten any items. And now they can be pretty valuable because they could just be the latest items you've been finding. I kind of like that. All right, so it should have said created, and we should see them in the next 3 to like 12 seconds. All right, they might even be in town already. There they are. Do you see them? All right, we got a cloak and a boot. And if we do this, we can move the cloak away from the boot. Yeah, neat. Oh, in fact, they should be back in town again. Yeah, there they are. Can I beat Skeletor using only the scared goblin? Oh my god, that'd be terrible. You're not guaranteed to see these items, by the way, but you'd probably have workers, and the workers know that they're there. So they would come over here and just pick it up. You might be like, why was there a potion in the middle of the forest? But, yeah. All right, so where are they? Where's the goblin? They might not have spawned yet. Oh, there they are. All right, it's kind of easy to see them. Especially when they spawn there. This is so great. Yeah, I really like this. I really, really like this. They're respawning really fast, though. Why is that happening? Spawn transitions to wait. Wait takes 30 to 150. Oh, I see. It doesn't take any extra time. They're just... Yeah, they're just there. They won't move for a while. So if I speed this up, they'll eventually move out of there. There they go. And then you can click them here. In fact, should we make them give you more items if they're walking? No, that's probably silly. I love this idea, though. I think it's so great. Hey, Abby, is this your magnum opus? No, I don't think so. And it's hard to say if the next game will be. But, yeah. I think the next game could be. And I think if I ever did a course on how to stay organized, that could be. But this is not it. Well, welcome into the stream. Don't reward them for waiting for them to move. That's a bad habit. Yeah, that's true. Plus, I also just don't think it makes a lot of sense. Do you have an idea on what you want to build next? Yeah, there are 3 more ideas. We probably won't get to them today. But I'm happy we did this. I want to clean up the code and then probably wrap up. So what do we want to do? We want to change the disappear state to do this. Yeah. Yeah, let's go clean everything up. All right, the sound effect we're checking in. I mean, that's the perfect sound effect for this. You cannot convince me there's a better sound effect in that pack. Goblin, does this look good? I didn't really check their collision box closely. We could do that really fast right now if I want to. If I wanted to. We just add in a new sprite really fast. And what am I doing? Texture, quick load. No. Atlas texture. Now load in adventurers. This isn't actually an adventurer, by the way. And now we got to figure out where they're located. So they're 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 4, 8, 7, 8. Okay, so 7 times 16, 8 times 16, 16, 16. Not quite right somehow. Oh, because it's times 20. There. Is their foot cut off? No. No, I don't think so. So yeah, their collision is a little bit too high, I think. Wait, is it cut off? No, it's not cut off. Yeah, but I think it's okay. If I were to shrink it just a little bit, yeah, I don't think we need to do that. All right, so let's not save this. So the scene itself should look okay now, right? Yeah, nice. Want to see you take a knock at a platformer? So let me just say you'll want to keep an eye on the next game, but not it's not going to be a platformer completely. There will be some platforming elements. But for real, I don't think it would be satisfying if all you're looking for is to see a cool platformer. I also think that platformers are so hyper saturated at this point that you need a very, very good gimmick for it. It's like, even if you hear that a game is a cool Metroidvania and it's got nice graphics, it's not even necessarily going to stand out. The lamp overlaps the flower next to the portal. So it does. Yeah, this probably has to do with the Y sorting changing. It's not really that apparent when you're zoomed out. Unless you know what the blue flower sprite looks like. All right, so this scene is good too. All sound data, probably fine. Yep. And I don't think the sound level was a problem either. That's good. Wait. Is this listed as a UI sound? It is. Good. Whew. Okay, good. Cool. Scene path, goblin. Yep, looks good. Entity type, goblin. Yep. And we don't save them to the save file, right? We better not. Once the goblin's in your town, they're just in your town for good. So if we look at entities, there's entity type 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1. There are no 4s there. Yeah. Entity type 4 is the goblin that we just added. So it's good that they don't show up there. What? Happy? This seems suspicious. Do you mind clarifying? All right, so here we're just skipping goblins, and we also saved an allocation there. Customer, this is not part of this commit. It's good to check in later. This saving off is not important. Created a goblin is not important here. Pressing page up is definitely not going to stay in. Process doesn't need to stay in. Okay, so we have create goblin. We moved to add items, and we create it in a couple different places, right? Yeah, nice. Yes, Steam review counts based on Steam page. Oh. I thought what you meant is you saw me personally using that site to guess something else. But you're saying you saw a Skeleseller on there, right? Or maybe you saw me on the Skeleseller page. Yeah. How's the performance? Since there could be lots of NPCs running around. I think it's pretty good. We spent a lot of time improving it recently. So it should be running at a decent frame rate. All right, this goblin transitioning stuff I definitely don't want to keep here. Oh, the other Adam. Okay, yeah, sorry. I thought you were talking about me. All right, we don't want this either. What else? Nothing here. Yeah, that should disappear. Good. Okay, this is just renamed. That's fine. I need to make sure to start from here so we have all the UID files, although maybe starting from here isn't important. I think the other Adam lives in Australia, I want to say. So I like rarely see his stream. I think it's usually evenings for me. But from a distance, I have a good opinion of him. I'm not super familiar. What was I going to do here? There was something. Oh, yeah, get all the UID files. There we go. Okay, great. So Goblin will seemingly cease to exist. It's actually just hidden so that we don't need to keep creating new ones. So this is actually not... Spawn doesn't need to exist, does it? Because literally all it does is these two things and then transitions right into wait. So the spawn state should pretty much just be the disappear state, or vice versa. No, wait, but this fades them in. So spawn behind a tree. And then wait for a bit before moving. Nah, let's leave it like that. All right, so all this stuff looks good. Now the wait state is to wait a random amount of time and then go to another tree. Sounds good. And that's what walk does, is it goes to the other tree. They're only clickable in those two states. See an items tracker changed very slightly. This technically doesn't belong here. They'll just click that button. And then Goblin themselves. Rename this to make it clear how this is different from onClick. So this is like generate items. Yeah. All right, that's pretty good. And we're good, right? No, something's wrong. Customer. Where's customer? Why is this here? Shouldn't be here. All right, let's just look over this one last time. Because, yeah, I should have 3 commits, and I only had 2 right there. Now I'm back up to 3. Good, good, good. Good, 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 good. Yep. Yeah, pretty nice. And we only do this on init, so I don't really care about this. Wait, well, not that. This one. I don't care about any of this stuff. Okay, so add the goblin to the game. This was just a fun thing to delight players. A goblin will spawn after you beat the dragon. It walks between trees. Like, yeah, it walks from tree to tree, hiding for long periods of time in between, clicking the goblin while it's walking or waiting behind a tree. While it's walking or hiding, will make it spawn 2 random items that you've already seen. It will then scurry through the portal and show up again a few minutes later. I don't know how I feel about this. I originally thought there was more randomness behind this. I don't want this to be timed on exactly 3 minutes because of how spawn works now. So let's do something like, all right, I can't modify this. Disappear. Let's do something like double wait time equals random shared double range. So 3 minutes, probably at the low end. Maybe 4 minutes at the high end. So somewhere between 3 to 4 minutes. Maybe even 3 to 5 minutes. Yeah, I want this to be pretty uncommon. Okay. I think that's good. So we modified disappear. Okay, cool. Now we can check in these things, remove unused constructor. And then this is simplify link expression. All right, nice. Goblin, done. Make it based on time between songs setting. If you muted my music, you're not allowed to see the goblin in the game. Shame on you. Listen to my hard work. Okay, so yeah, we can't get any of this done now. Oh, and I wrote this. Get entities of type shouldn't exist. Yeah, that's something we should probably do later. All right. But only added the goblin so far. Yeah, so the other three ideas, I just get such a kick out of this one. The bird creature that we have a, where is it? We have a bird with just this animation. So I was thinking it'll just like hop around your town. And if it eventually goes near the chef slime will just eat it and cook it. And you'll get wisdom sludge. And that's it. Hey, Karada, thank you very much. I think, actually, do we have any like bird sounds in here? Bird, crow, chirp. No, we don't have anything like that. Oh, I'm searching the wrong folder. There aren't even sound effects in that folder. Okay, let's try here. Bird. Birds outside, birds inside. Oh, there's a lot of birds. I can hardly even hear this. Whoops. Crow. Graveyard crow's lair. Oh, nice. We could potentially take it from there. Maybe when clicking the crow, it caws at you. Maybe you can spook it. Yeah. It doesn't fit the bird sprite. I mean, it's a fantasy world. This bird could make that sound. Yeah, I think it's fine. Plus, it's like, what does a player expect? They expect some kind of bird sound. That's a bird sound. That's probably good enough. I don't even know if we'll do that. But yeah, that's not a concern at least. Yeah, the only thing I'm not super sure about here is since we don't have walking animations for every direction, and I don't want them to walk, I want them to hop. We probably need to write a lot of custom code for this. So it might not be worth doing. I think this will be a lot of custom code. Yeah. Normal walking entities have 4 directions of animation, but we would only have 2. Probably need a custom system to navigate, but we also need to follow paths. It should also probably hop instead of smoothly walk. Not entirely objective about the subject. Yeah. I'm trivializing your entire name here. Item bag should be quick. You could quickly rewrite my PR. Yeah, and then I think with a snake pet at least, it could probably move in the same way that all the other entities move. Slithers around town, automatically eats apples from trees as long as they're close enough. Yeah, so we probably prioritize these couple of things. I do think the bird thing would be funny. Yeah, and then this. So this all becomes Thursday work, right? Yeah. The bird thing is really funny. It's just a lot of work to do for like a kind of a throwaway joke. And especially imagine this, like this bird is going to enter town from somewhere. I don't know where. Maybe it comes out of a tree like the goblin does. It's going to enter town. It's going to walk around. It might not reach the chef slime for a while. So it's just walking around your town. You're like, what is this thing? You would have to see it get close to this. And you'd have to be watching when that happens. Otherwise, I mean, by the time you get to this point in the game, because this point being like the mines, you beat the mines, you have 1, 2, 3 locations left. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it only happens once. It's just this. No, it can't just happen. I don't know. You drag it into. Okay, maybe we could do that. You can pick up the bird. You'd have to write a lot of special code for that too, actually. I was gonna say, then you just drag it around and you're like, what am I doing with this? And it's not unless you drag it near the chef slime that it does anything. I don't know. You need an animation of the bird flailing? I mean, not necessarily. You could just still pick it up in its walk animation. Yeah, I'm torn. I'm torn on that. I like the idea. I think it's a funny joke. I think it's a lot of effort for such a silly joke. A lot of effort for something that most players probably won't even witness. They'd have to see a bird wander near the chef slime and then realize what happened. But their attention almost certainly won't be on that bird. All right, well, I got to get going. I have been at a computer for quite a long time today. It's a good clip farm, though. I can see the YouTube short. Yeah, is it worth like 4 hours of work to do that, though? Because even this goblin took most of this afternoon stream, right? It's been 2.5 hours, I think. Yeah. Okie dokie. Let's go raid Tina. Yeah. I don't know how long she'll be online for, but she's a good streamer. Thank you all for watching. If you want to join Discord, if you want to play the game, there are the usual links. Share Skeletother with a friend. I'll be back online tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be a full stream. I might just stream in the morning. We'll see how it goes. But thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.